Hello there, fellow magicians. How do?
Good. Doing good.
Good.
Sorry.
Good. We made it, didn't we? We made it into a fresh new year. As it is 2019, nothing bad has happened, and everything's going to be great, right? That's how magic works. You can just pretend that all the bad stuff hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brill.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, how are you? Hey, hi.
Hi.
We're here to play a little game called Sorcerer Supreme, aren't we?
We are.
Feeling very wizardy.
We're feeling very, very wizardy. I mean, I just assumed that I had a really good Christmas. But no, you're right. I do feel a bit more wizardy than normal.
I would have been more wizardy, but unfortunately the wizardy things arrives after the game.
Yes.
Much to my chagrin.
Well, I think you find actually that a wizard's Amazon parcels arrive exactly on time, and they're never late. So, oh, this is going to be so. Yes, Sorcerer Supreme. This is a little 200-word RPG written by a fantastic young chap called Andrew Harrison, off of from the lands of Reddit, and it's a sort of rule set that I looked at and laughed at enough that I immediately wanted to play it. So I guess here we are. We've got some familiar faces. Hello, Carl. Hello, Tilda.
Hello.
We've also got Jake, who guest stars in our Shadowrun games. Sorry, London Underground. Heavily influenced by the Shadowrun universe. But we also have a brand new face. Hello, Meg.
Hi. Hello.
How are you? Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you. That's it. You're in now. We've locked the doors. You can't get out. You have to play RPG games with us now. So
we did try to warn you.
Yeah.
Yeah, several times.
Yes. So, I guess, without further ado, who would like to be the most proficient and successful wizards this world has ever seen?
Wait, that's an option in this game?
Yeah.
It's an option. I'm not sure it's one we'll be taking, but it is an option.
All right.
I've got the serious hat on today, so yeah, I'm ready for it. Ready to be the best wizard ever.
And I'm swallowing all of these very serious beard hairs. So yeah.
I was trying to grow it. It didn't grow in time.
Yeah, I've got some formula left over. I can send you away, Jake, if you want.
Jake, Carl, and Dan, you kind of form the 3 stages of becoming a wizard with your facial hair, you know.
Probably the oldest.
Yeah. So, Sorcerer Supreme. What is Sorcerer Supreme? Yes, as I say, it's a short 200-word RPG. You are all powerful, incredible, capable wizards.
Wizards, yeah.
And you have decided on this most glorious of days to descend upon the unassuming town of Blandford. And unbeknownst to the poor mayor of Blandford, Mayor Schlub, you're on a bit of a day trip from Wizard University, and you're out of the goodnesses of your hearts. You've decided to help the poor normies of Blandford about their day-to-day lives, using your expert grasps of the arts arcane. So, as the 4 of you are heading kind of down the road towards the little riverside town of Blandford, let's start from Meg. Meg, what is your wizard's name?
Hello. My wizard's name is Natty Yarntit.
Natty Yarntit. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And if you were to describe Natty's one defining feature, what would it be?
Imagine a village librarian who decided to learn magic from listening to podcasts.
Okay.
That's Natty, aren't it?
Beautiful.
Reached middle age in her mid-30s.
Beautiful. Okay. In which case, next up, Carl. Give me a quick rundown or what's your wizard called?
Wendleshire Wagstaff.
Wendleshire Wagstaff. Beautiful. And what is the TLDR of Wendleshire Wagstaff?
Wendleshire is, very sort of small, huge bottle glasses that sort of enlarge his eyes. Think Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
But
Marvelous.
slightly more competent.
Marvellous.
Lots
Slightly
of
more
cats?
competent or less competent?
Oh, he loves cats, of course. He is a wizard after all.
Wonderful. And next to Wendleshire, Tilda, what is your wizard called?
So, my wizard is called Dot Void, and the easiest way to describe her is ink stained.
Ink stained. Okay.
Also, talk about cats, and also you can see a foot for cat.
Yeah.
That's your familiar. It is
That's my familiar. He is not being particularly helpful.
an upside down taxidermied cat. Okay. Marvelous. And last but not least, Jake, who is your wizard to round out this bunch?
My wizard is called Rufus Andromedon, and he has utter confidence. Nothing goes wrong at all, ever. It's perfectly as planned.
Are you
Nothing
the
is wrong to see here.
Johnny Bravo Giga Chad of the wizarding world?
Yes,
Okay.
pretty much.
Okay. Marvelous. So, in which case, Natty, Wendleshire, Dot, and Rufus, as you make your way into the town limits of Blandford, and the town is, as to be expected, quite sleepy. The pace of life is very slow. You can see the common folk, the normies, starting to emerge from their respective homes and go about their day-to-day jobs, and you can hear the sounds of kind of farm animals being pulled out, and the sounds of kind of market stalls being starting to being open up. Some of the shopkeepers beginning to yell and hark their wares, and obviously, as you would expect them to, you notice that quite a few of the commoners are beginning to look over in your direction at your prestigious and very well-dressed selves. They're so excited to see you, in fact, that you notice a number of the commoners begin to kind of stop what they're doing and kind of run off into a number of different directions. And before long, one of them brings over a portly-looking man who's the best way to describe this man is a sad beige trumpet. And as he approaches you, and he's kind of like playing with his kind of suspender buckles, just above his, just on his kind of chest area. And he looks over to you and he mats some sweat away from his forehead and kind of puffs out his reddish cheeks. And he looks to you, and you see that he's got a badge on his lapel that says Mayor. And he looks you up and down and greetings, he says, looking to you. My name is Mayor Schlub. I wasn't expecting travellers today, he says, looking you up and down. And there's you're not quite sure whether the look in his face is one of apprehension or utter joy. It's very difficult to tell with these normies. But as he looks to you, why are you here?
We're here to help, as most wizards do. And he's looking towards the middle distance, just past the man. It's like, we're here to help. It's what we do. What do you need help with?
Mayor Schlub looks to you as you say that, and you see his eyes kind of momentarily glance to the side, and you can see over in the town square is what appears to be there's like a parish board outside the local kind of church, and you can see that there appear to be a number of kind of parchments and notes pinned to it, and as he kind of looks over and you catch his eyes kind of looking across, a number of the commoners kind of form ranks in front of this what you assume to be job board, and Mayor Schlub, I think we're actually fine. Actually, I mean, if you wanted to carry on along to the next town, he says, looking frantically between the four of you.
Oh, but Mayor Schlub, we're on work experience.
Are you?
Yes. The Wisdom University expects us to do volunteering in the community, and that's why we're here. So it's our volunteering. We've got to do it.
Like a placement of sorts.
Like a placement. That's exactly it. We're here to help.
Award. Yeah.
Oh, and you happen to choose Blandford to do this, did you?
Well, you are the closest.
Right, I see. Well,
I might make a suggestion here, Mayor.
Yes.
Do you have a job that would involve us not being in the village?
He thinks about it for a moment, and you watch as this man's face begins to change in hue from the kind of the fleshy color that you would expect a normie's human head to be, and it cycles through into a pinkish, into a reddish, borders on purple, before he, under his breath, mutters, "Mummy told me I couldn't lie." And he looks to you and says, with a defeated tone in his voice, "We do have some odd jobs that require looking at on the job board that no one's picked up yet. I suppose."
Excellent. Great news. So think about it this way: the sooner you give it to us, the sooner we will go away, because we will take a job one way or another.
That is. Yes, the sooner you do it, the sooner you leave. That is the best way to look at it. Yes, correct. Well, if you just head over to the parish, you'll see a number of jobs up on the board there, he says. And he dabs the sweat from his forehead away again, and if you could use as little magic as you could, that would be grand.
Nonsense! Perhaps. We're going to use as much as possible. Why do anything but? Manual work is... Sorry, let me try that again. Manual work is irrelevant when you can do everything with a swish and a flick.
As you say that, and like Mayor Schlub bares his teeth and slowly nods. As you glance around the adoring crowds around you, you can see that they're all kind of like also wearing that same kind of worried, baring of teeth face as they slowly nod. The crowds tentatively begin to disperse and go about their days, and sure enough, there is a job board in front of the parish church. As you approach,
you expect me to walk? I do not just walk casually to a notice board.
Cemeteria
Victoria!
Oh dear.
Okay, so you start things off with a bang.
Mistake
so
there, sir.
okay, so in which case, with with Rufus's outburst, let's have a little look at the rules of the game. So, as versed as you are in the arcane arts, the four of you have access to 20 words of power. And as we all know, a spell is a combination of at least 2 words of power, and there is no upper limit. There is literally no upper limit. So, as you declare your words of power, and each of the words of power do a thing. So you've declared Somateria, Vectora. Okay. So Somateria is the magic word for physical form, and Vectora is the magical word for kinetic energy. So you are creating a spell to bring the board to you?
No, I was to go to the board. I'm gonna.
You're moving yourself
levitate.
to the board. I see.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Hopefully, not too much force.
Okay, in which case, as you declare these words, there is a clap of thunder overhead. Somateria Vectora. Jake, please roll me 2d10. 9 and a 1. Okay, so the way that this works is when for each word of power, you roll a d10. On a 6 to 10, it goes off as you pronounce it correctly. On a 2 to 5, you slightly mispronounce it. So the word of power works partially or incorrectly. And on a roll of a 1, you have a catastrophic failure because you just say the wrong word. So,
okay.
As we can see, you have correctly pronounced Somateria. You, however, you've misremembered the word for kinetic energy, and I can tell you that instead of Vectora, what you actually said was...
Casted it on yourself, right?
Yeah. 16.
Oh, wonderful.
Luminous light energy. So you have physical form, kinetic energy. As you declare this spell that will lift you off your feet and hover you towards the job board, you will watch as Rufus begins glowing extremely brightly, and becomes a being of like light. Light starts streaming out of his eyeballs, out his ears, out his mouth, out his nostrils. Every orifice on Rufus's body now beams like a lighthouse.
I don't think that's quite what you meant by light on your feet, did you, Rufus?
At this point, Dot is gonna take a look at him and like, okay, so any jobs in a basement, in a dungeon?
So yes, this board, Rufus hasn't moved. As the rest of the three of you move to the board, and it's perfectly lit by Rufus's eyes scanning it from a distance. You find that there are currently 3 jobs on offer for yourselves. So the first one is from Baker Brown, who reports that there has been a number of scratches and droppings left, like scratches heard underfoot and droppings left in corners. He believes that there are rats in the basement, and he would like someone to go in and root them out. Fisherman Fred would very, very much like someone to help move his prize koi carp, because it's now grown too big for the fishbowl in the house, needs to be moved to the pond outside. And Gardener Gabby would like someone to remove the brambles from her garden. So, illuminated, such as it is, by Rufus's eyeballs, what do you want to go for? So there are Baker Baker Brian, was that what I said?
Baker Brown, you said.
Baker Brown. So Baker Brown has rats in the basement.
Fisherman Fred.
Fisherman Fred has a prize koi carp.
Gabby Gardner.
And Gabby.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. Like the carp, I'd rather not touch, just because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be fried fish very, very quickly.
I really want to do the carp.
Of course you do.
I'm all for the rat infestation. I got my EHO hat on. All for.
Yeah. And at least we'll be able to see down there.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true.
You do the, I mean, these are all very, very, very simple jobs that will be completed very, very quickly. So there's absolutely nothing stopping you from doing one and then coming back and doing the others.
Why don't we? Because let's try something that that we can practice on. Like what sounds like the easiest thing, to get our creative magical juices flowing before we go on to the really tricky stuff.
Rats. All adventures start with killing rats in basements.
For 1 XP each. Yeah.
Okay.
And if it goes wrong, they're only rats. They're not like someone's bush or fish.
On the other hand, imagine the monstrosities we could potentially create in a garden.
Think about the monstrosities we could create if we get the spells wrong with rats.
What are you talking about? None of your spells ever go wrong.
It's true. This is
We're
true.
talking very negatively, Just remember, we all got passing grades on our last exam papers at the Wizarding University. We at least got the minimum requirement for us to be able to go out into the community with our magic. So we must be great.
I mean, look at Rufus. He went past with flying colours. He's now all colours.
Yes.
Become.
You all managed to get at least 40% on your end of year exams on the third resits, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
So, I'm gonna agree with Natty that probably the rats, just because we have a living torch, might as well use it.
Sure.
Thank you. In preparation.
Thinking in advance. Okay. So are we agreed? We're going to start with the rats.
Let's start with the rats.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, with a you rip off the job advert and make your way over to Baker Brown's bakery. As you approach, you see it's a quaint little the downstairs of a quaint little townhouse. It smells fantastic as you go in. Not as great as wizard bread, but for normie bread, it smells pretty good. And you notice that the sign overhead is a picture of a loaf of bread. Again, how naughty. And as you let yourselves, as the door opens, it rings a little ding-a-ling bell overhead. You see a woman look up to you who screams and runs from the room, leaving behind a very confused-looking man in a baker's apron who kind of emerges from behind the counter, which is festooned with all sorts of rolls and cakes and loaves of bread and the like. And he looks to you and can I help you? He says, and as he looks across the four of you and then notices the job poster.
We're exterminators. Someone saw a roach on 12.
Yes, like he sees the job and are you here for the job with the rats?
Mm-hmm.
As you all nod ominously. Yeah. I see. Are you sure you're up for it? They're quite a handful, you see.
Are you suggesting that 4 visits can't take on a couple of rats?
No, he says.
Good man.
Right. Well, very well. They're just over here, he says, and he sort of like leads you into one of the back rooms. In the corridor, he stops. Leans down, grabs a metal paw ring on the floor, and with a big heave ho, he pulls up a trapdoor, which you can see a kind of wooden staircase going down into a dark basement. That is then immediately illuminated as soon as Rufus peers his head over to look into it. he gestures and yes, you'll find them down there. They've been. It's been a while since. Well, normally we hear them during the winter, but now that we're making it into spring, it's a problem that we can still hear them scrabbling around. If you could take them out as humanely as you can. The last thing we want is any dead rats festering down there, being flies and everything. But I trust it's well within your power to do a good job. He says, and like the baker gives you a nod, takes a step back, and lets you enter.
We'll do our very best.
I'm sure you will. So, the four of you make your way in. You have to kind of duck your heads to get into the basement. The basement itself is actually quite roomy once you get down there. It's the walls. It's very cool down here, and the walls are made of a sturdy-looking stone because clearly this is the foundations of the building overhead. The floors are. The floors have been laid out with a wooden floorboard, and you can see that there are a number of supplies and kind of grain bags and barrels of what who knows what dotted around. And yeah, it is pitch black apart from whatever Rufus is looking at. So you hear "good luck" and the door boom, is closed behind you. What do you do?
Can we make Rufus just do...
Hang on.
A lighthouse.
Hang on.
Yeah, just
Hang
a full
on.
circle.
Hang on.
Spin.
Why is this? This is just only going in my face, in my mouth. Why is it?
It's been a while since you've had facial hair, isn't it,
Have I
Dan?
eaten all the brill cream?
So you're supposed to wear it, not, eat it as a snack.
I'm just going to look more and more haggard as this recording goes on, aren't I?
I mean, we're going to be doing that to you anyway.
Yeah. Right, continue. As the door closes behind you, what do you do?
Okay. I have an idea. We need to know where the rats are, and as brilliant as Rufus's little eye lighthouses are, we're only going to be able to see like small spots at once. So I want to make all the rats visible. So I am going to cast a spell to do that, which is Locatia Vitalia. With that, I want to basically, locate all the life forms in the basement.
Right, okay. In which case, as you say the words, please roll me 2d10.
I will.
2 and a 5. Okay, so neither goes quite to plan. Perhaps it's the first thing in the morning. You haven't had your coffee, and you don't quite pronounce either of the bits right. So locate and life.
All the town rats.
Yeah. What would this do if it went wrong?
Let you see all the cats instead.
Oh god, all spiders.
Yes, as you cast this spell, you kind of you focus, you close your eyes, and as you open them and your irises are a different color to what they were a moment ago, you stop and look around and notice the only thing you can see now are living creatures. You've realized that the floor has vanished, the walls have vanished, the ceiling has vanished, everything. You are, for all intents and purposes, it feels like you're floating in a void with motes of light, and each mote of light a single independent soul. There are 3 large beams of light kind of around you. You can see a couple kind of wandering around, and you assume one of them is Baker Brown. But as you kind of tip your head back to look skywards, the world, your vision looks like the night sky. Each star a soul in a 3-mile radius, which includes every human, living animal, and bug and insect.
I vomit existentially.
Okay. So the rest of you watch as Natty's eyes change. She looks around and then begins vomiting on the floor. Wendleshire, what do you do?
Well, it's a very well-known fact that rats and mice and all rodents love cheese. So what we need is cheese. And, well, I'd rather not have all this, and he gestures the vomit, lying around. So let's repurpose it.
Right, yeah.
So he firstly he gets his book out, puts his Coke bottle glasses right against the pages, scans them like, right, okay, I think I know what I need to do. Transmutia Cronus. So Transmutia convert, and Cronus, because he'll turn it to cheese and then mature it quickly.
All right.
Okay. I think what you'll have to do, I'm going to step in and say, because you need to specify what you're converting. So I think you're going to need to do a Transmutia convert, Somateria, physical form, and then convert. So, time. Yeah, Chronos. So, that's a 3-word spell.
So what was it again? It was Transmutia Somateria Cronus.
Okay. Roll 3d6, Carl. And let's
10.
see what happens. So 3d10. Let's see what happens. Okay, so as you
Something's maturing.
Aged.
So you have slightly mispronounced Transmutia and Somateria. So it hasn't quite converted the object as you hoped it would. What happens is it does age, however.
Please don't be a living thing.
You cast this on the vomit,
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. It
Creates a little vomit boy that ages and dies in front of us.
Yes. Okay, so you wanted to convert the vomit and then
into
age it.
cheese and then age it.
Okay, so you point your wands at the pile of vomit. As the transmutation magic strikes it, there's a big kind of poof. There's a smell of rotten eggs. And then as the smoke disappears, you watch as this pile of vomit that's fresh out of Natty's mouth begins to jiggle, congeals into a smaller blob, and then the aging magic begins. You watch as this thing sprouts eyes, 2 arms, and 2 legs, and then gets up and then runs off into the darkness. A little vomit boy.
Okay, that smell is not helping my sense of vertigo and nausea right now. And I'm assuming now I see a new light.
You see
Does it have a soul? Does the vomit creation have a soul?
Did it work?
So, Dot. Sorry, Tilda. Is it Dot?
Yep.
Dot. Okay. So Dot. Wendleshire has just created a living puke baby from Natty's vomit. It's just gone like a little gremlin and just gonna run off and scattered some boxes.
Don't eat after midnight.
What do you do?
I think. Oh God, I kind of want to end that spell. To be perfectly honest with you, I know how to cast that, but on the other hand, what does the little vomit boy smell like exactly?
Smells like
No.
Imagine if, right, you had a massive Great Bernard dog, like a Great Bernard, who's just yacked up Christmas dinner on the kitchen floor, and then you've gone along and hoovered it, and then left it for 3 weeks.
Would you say it's particularly cheesy?
I think at this point in devolution, everything smells cheesy. Yes, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay, I think what I would love to do is change the smell to be even cheesier for the rats. So,
Okay.
Transmutia.
Yeah, work with what you got. Good.
Hold on. Don't you have smell here, do you?
No.
No, not really. I mean, perhaps if you
It'd be
Actually-
the object, physical form things. So
Yeah, I think it will have to be Transmutia Somateria.
Okay, yeah. So you're converting
Actually, I'm converting the little vomit boy to a little cheese boy.
little cheese boy. Okay, right. So that's a two. That's a 2-worder. Roll me
Yeah.
2d10.
God help us all. Oh, yeah. Okay.
God help us, indeed.
Okay. In your panic, you forget the word transmutia, and instead say 11.
Oh, it's aged.
Reduce. Reduce. Okay.
You know what kind of works in our favour?
And
It's reduced. It
somateria.
could be reduce the smell. It's not just size, is it? It's temperature, everything.
So
it's
reducto
physical
is
form.
reduced size or temperature, and then physical form. But you also mispronounced somateria. So as you bring your hands up with the intention of turning the cheese boy, the vomit boy into a cheese boy, your wand cracks as you say the wrong word, and you accidentally, because you're trying to do the core pose, and as you go to shoot the vomit boy, you instead bring your hand in front of your own wand, and the three of you watch, well, some of you watch, as Dot shrinks to half her size.
Whoopsie.
Okay.
What's happening here? All I can see is blackness, and I think someone just got created and ran off, and another one of you've just shrunk. What's going on?
We're winning.
The soul has shrunk in size. Rufus, it's hard to see. You know how it's just really hard to see when someone shines a torch in your eyes?
Yes.
Well, your torches are the eyes. So, in your world of gleaming, dazzling light and kind of like light burn, when you get those multicolored dots bouncing around on your vision, you can hear spells being cast. Someone's just been sick. Dottie sounds much higher pitched than she did a moment ago. And there's a really strong kind of cheesy stank somewhere in the room with a giggling. There's a gleeful giggling. What do you do?
Well, I think if I can't see the rats very well, I need to get something else to see them for me and sort this problem out, because obviously my colleagues aren't doing that well at it, though I can't tell. So I'm assuming there's loads of bakery, like bread and stuff down here, random things.
Correct.
In which case I'm going to try and bring it to life and instruct it to hunt down the rats and electrocute them when it sees them.
I see. So you're instructing the bakery goods.
Yeah, like the little
Animate.
Danishes, animate them, go full on Fantasia on them. And they can go and hunt down the rats. And if I could give the bakery bits like powers of electricity to stun the rats when they see them.
Right. Tell me, what does that spell look like?
I
What does
think
it sound like?
Vitalia si somateria potentia. I think it's like 4 words there.
That's a 4-worder. I see. Okay. So just to run it by me again.
So, Vitalia to animate the bakeries to get them to do like because they're about the same size as the rats. They can go in the same little spaces like the little danishes and the croissants can go running. Little croissant, 2 little legs as it runs into the hole.
Clever.
And then the C bit is the condition. So if the little croissant sees a rat, it's then I need the some materia, which is the physical form of the rat. So if it sees the rat, it's then going to use a electricity shock on it, potentia, to stun the rat.
Of course. Okay, roll me 4d10.
This can't go wrong. This is it.
Oh! I almost nailed it. Okay, so as you say,
it's not the rat. Oh.
So, in your excitement of pronouncing pretty much the whole spell right, the only word you mispronounce is physical object, like physical form. So,
rat.
You bring your hands up. Your eye is a laser show. Your eyes are a laser show for the masses of someone who can only see souls. I think Dottie and Wendleshire. No, you can both see this. But sort of like you hear the wood around this basement creaking as Rufus begins this spell, and with a whisk of the wand, a blast of magic strikes what is effectively stacks of boxes of pastries, small, pané raisins, croissants, Eccles cakes, but you feel a slight tingle on the ends of your noses as you realise something's not gone quite right. And as the spell finishes and your hairs begin to lay back down, you see the boxes. The lid of the top box flies open, and 12 donuts kind of sit upright and look in your direction. And they look around, and gingerly they kind of climb down the sides of the boxes and then approach you to kind of stand in a circle around you. And they're all looking up at you, Rufus, like people meeting their god for the first time. These donuts are meeting their creators. And as you look down and kind of nod sagely, you notice them begin to crackle with lightning as they look to you. And with the hundreds and thousands decorations, it seems like you can almost tell them that they're frowning in your direction as they jump at you, the 4 of you, and like electrocuting you every time they touch you. And it seems that the spell worked fine, apart from the fact that you got the subject wrong. And all of the baked goods appear to be wanting to electrocute the 4 of you. So, as this happens...
Welcome, gang.
Meg, your world, so Natty's world has just become significantly brighter, as what appear to be hundreds of small pastries have just gained sentience and therefore souls. And they are now swarming and massing towards you, but you also notice that there's sparks of lightning coming off their souls, and you get a little shock as one of them latches onto your ankle. What do you do?
Oh my gosh, they're like little sentient fly zappers, but instead they're like wizard zappers. Okay, I'm panicking. I can't see anything. Just all these little lives being created and destroyed around me. So I'm gonna try and just get rid of some of this errant magical energy, and I'm going to cast Reducto Arcano. Okay, so you're just going to try and dispel them. What is it? Which bit are you dispelling? You'll have to specify. Oh, okay. I think first off, I'm going to try and dispel the. I think because I'd be panicking and I wouldn't be able to see what was going on. I think I'd try and dispel my own magic to see what on earth the problem is around me first. So yeah, I'm going to try and bring back my sight.
Your sight.
If this goes terribly wrong. Okay.
Okay, so Nat, that's a 2-word spell. Roll me 2d10.
Okay, so Reducto Arcano.
Oh! The first successful cast of the game. Okay, so you you're not. You've completely lost track of what way is up, what way is down. It's like being underwater, and you've got no kind of 3D location. But you concentrate, you utter the magic words to yourself under your breath, just like you practice in the mirror every night just before bed. And with a bamf, the lights of the souls start fading away, and the world becomes. The world starts to feel more solid and substantial around you. The gloominess of the depths of soul space give way to the gloominess of this basement, which is now filled with distinctly more carnage than it had when you left it. You can see Rufus's laser eyes kind of flicking around in all directions as he's swarmed by a pack of cheese sticks, which just zapping him like little taser sticks, taser batons. You can see Dot, who's half the size that she was when you last saw her, running around being chased by a loaf of tiger bread, and Wendleshire is stood. He's just like he's scrabbling around, crawling for a vomit baby, like trying to find his vomit baby. You're back in the room. You are back in the room. As this happens, you look up and see that there are a number of pecan Twizzlers, which are just kind of like rolling along the ground menacingly towards you, with little lightning shots coming out their ends. As you take all of that in, Wendleshire, what are you doing?
Wendleshire stands up, looks around at, kind of lifts his bottle goggles up, so actually turns out he can actually see normally without them. It's just obviously heard that wizards have glasses, so he's like, puts them back down, takes his book, opens to a page for in case of emergencies, scans it, and he's like, well, I could solve all of this in one go. Thermia Locatia Cronus. He's going to set off a small explosion for 1 second in the entire basement. Fireball!
At what?
Oh, okay. So I guess...
What are you aiming at in this lovely wooden area?
Center of the room for a 1 second fireball that fills the entire basement.
Okay. That's a 3-word spell.
That's a 3-word spell.
Go. Oh! So, as this happens,
you're going to look like me at the end of this.
So, as this army of pastries, you notice that Rufus has been dragged down. Dottie is smothered by the tiger loaf, and Natty as Natty's about to be tripped over by some marauding pecan Twizzlers. You conjure a small mote of light between your index finger, middle finger, and thumb, and as you flick it into the middle of the room like you're playing marbles, it explodes out. You all see a flash of white as this ball of flame explodes out. You're all shielded, because that went off perfectly, so you're all shielded from the blast, but you just hear as all the pastries ignite, And when a second later the fire disappears, the heat disappears, and you can see blackened bits of breaded goods smoking across the floor. You also notice that all of the crates and supplies are also on fire, and there are a number of kind of confused looking red eyes peering out at you through the darkness as the rats are kind of blown out of their respective little hidey holes. But as you blow the smoke off your finger,
well, one's over there and he's like
Dot, you are the tiger loaf shielded you from the vast majority of the explosion, but yeah, what's left of the basement, like the supplies in the basement, are now on fire. What do you do?
Well, the fire, I feel like, is not my problem. The rats are still alive.
Yeah.
So at this point, I am already small. I think what's going to happen is Dot is going to point to herself and say, Transmutia Somateria Morphosia, and will try to turn herself into a cat.
Okay. Convert self. Like, transform.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a free word.
Transmutia Somateria Morphosia.
Perfect.
Let's see if I can roll higher than a 2. Sort of.
Okay, so Transmutia, Somateria, Morphosia. So you convert and transform correctly, but the Somateria, the object, is not what you intended. So let's say
that's gone.
you go to cast a spell to turn yourself into a cat. What happens, however, is that you miss, like the subject word is slightly wrong, and what instead happens, all of those red eyes that are peering at you through the darkness, they begin shuddering and then growing in size, and then through the darkness, like as Rufus slowly turns his head to look over in the direction of the glowing eyes, you notice that all of the rats that have been blown, the charred, smoking rats that have been blown out of their respective rat holes, are growing to the size of cats.
Nice cats, or?
No, the opposite of nice cats. And these. Sorry.
I do have to say, when Dottie says this, like, oh, actually, that means there are no rats left in the basement. Yeah, we're done.
We go get payment.
Yeah.
You now find yourself in a basement filled with slightly charred and patchy furred cats that are looking to you and kind of hissing at one another, and you watch as they some of the cats kind of start fighting with one another, and you like just kind of rolling and skittering backwards and forwards, but you're absolutely right, there are no more rats left in the basement. Yeah, you've completed the mission.
Amazing.
So, with a few raps on the basement trapdoor, as you say,
smoke coming out of it.
Yes, as the door opens, and just fireball smoke kind of plumes out. The smell of burnt breads, and the sounds of angry cats. The four of you. Dot needs some help because the steps are twice as big as they were going up as they were coming down. But the four of you managed to kind of make your way out. And Baker Brown looks at you a bit confused and thanks.
You're welcome,
he says, and kind of gives you a bag of gold each on a job well done. And as you leave the bakery and kind of head back in towards the town square, you hear some kind of cries and commotion, and then dozens and dozens of part-burnt cats start running out of the bakery and scattering off into various directions.
You see, not only have we solved the baker's rat problem, we are making sure the rest of the village is rat-proof.
Exactly. The rats
Well
will
done,
never
us.
come back. We've done really well. Well done. And
That team.
Flash cut to a few days. They're putting a notice on the board like, someone help with all these cats.
Right. So, on a job well done, as you make your way back out into the town square, let's grab a 10-minute break.
Cool.
brilliant.
Right, catch you all a little bit.
See you in a bit.
Cronus!
Bye-bye. Hello, fellow magicians. DM Dan. If you're liking what you're seeing here right now, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below. And if you want to see more stuff like this, and there is a lot more stuff like this coming, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of future uploads. Oh, I tell you what, that shaving spell worked a treat, didn't it?
Yeah.
I just feel years younger.
Look, you have to share the spell with us. Like, what was the exact wording?
Maximo Vitus, I think. Yeah, it's a spell. You leave it on for sort of like 5-10 minutes, and it just comes right off. But yes, hello. You have successfully made it out of the basement. The village of Blandford is now up on cats, but down on rats. So, net positive?
Yay to us, yes.
Net positives for you?
Definitely positive. Cats are great.
Exactly, yes. Especially ones that used to be rats that have been half burnt by fireballs. So, as the four of you make it back out into the town square, you can see like a number of the commoners panicking as these mangy-looking tabbies kind of start running around in all directions. But as you kind of look at the head back over to the job board where there are the two jobs left, you notice that the ground underneath your feet begins to rumble, and as you kind of look at one another, it's annoying because you're trying to reach for the job, and you watch as the parish church, people come kind of pouring out of various buildings around the village nearby, and kind of panicking. You hear someone shouting, "It's an earthquake! Oh no! All those wizards!" And as that, as it happens, one of the walls of the parish church in front of you explodes outwards as what looks to be this kind of torso-thick, thorned vine explodes out the side of it, wraps itself around the parish steeple, and just kind of weighs on it, and you can hear the wood groaning as the parish struggles under the weight of this huge vine. And as you turn and look, you can see more of these spiked vines bursting from the grounds at various points. You can see people kind of getting penned off from loved ones. And as you look around, it occurs to the four of you that these it stops all of a sudden. The village is now kind of interlaced with this spaghetti junction of thorny vines. They look somewhat bramblish. And as you kind of look to one another, Mayor Schlub comes running over to you and, "What have you done?" he shouts.
Cleared out a basement of rats.
Yeah, this wasn't us. We dealt with the rat problem, which we dealt with expertly, by the way.
What do you mean it wasn't you? Gardener Gabby's garden has gone berserk.
Well, we were near. Actually, no, I'm half size. Well, we were near it.
He stops and sort of looks down to you, and you can tell he's trying to remember if you were that size the last time you met. But I don't know what you've done, but you have to fix this right now. The village is going to be filled with holes. It's going to look like holy cheese. He shouts. And there's another rumble, and you see these massive kind of bramble vines just going to shift a little bit. And there's a bit more screaming from the townsfolk. But as you kind of look, you notice that actually, on some of the brambles, there's some kind of giant-sized brambleberries.
Jam.
Which you make some jam. Mayor Schlub does not appear to be in the mood for making jam, however. And as he looks at you, I don't care what you've done, but I want you to fix it right now.
All right then, Wildershire, what was your spell for fireball?
No, we need to be more controlled with this. I think we need to target the vines itself, if you don't mind. Can I? Please? In which case, I will point up at the vines and Somateria Vitalia Preventia, and I'll try and kill the vines, the plant life.
Somateria object.
Yeah.
Life prevent. Okay. Okay, that's a 3D.
That is a murder spell I've ever heard one.
Goodbye.
Oh, so the target is correct. The life is correct. But the preventy bit does not quite go to plan.
It grows a bit more.
It grows a bit more. You watch as you cast a spell, and you hear a sound of crunching wood as the parish is pulverized into splinter wood as the vines flex and grow a bit thicker, not longer, just girthier.
I know what gardeners use. Gardeners use those things, don't they? The snappy things. Garden shears. I will create some garden shears. Some giant garden shears.
Yes.
And I'm going to cast Ex Nihil Magnitudine Morphosia Vectora. So, and with that, the idea is to create these giant garden shears which will move in a snapping motion towards the vines.
So, create, shape, in big size.
Yep.
What was the last one?
Vectoria. So, like
kinetic
the
energy.
Movement, yeah. To get the snappy.
Okie dokie! Roll 40-10!
This is gonna go.
It's gonna be amazing.
This is gonna go so well. What was it? 4, isn't it? Yeah, D10.
40-10.
Oh boy. Oh, okay.
Okay. Right, let's move it. So, create is good. Shape, not so good. Size is good. Kinetic energy, not so good. So,
What shape's that? Oh, it's a scythe.
So, you know what? That is exactly it. So you're like, shears, doing a cutting motion, and as you cast the spell, what looks like a giant kind of pendulum blade, but horizontal, appears in front of you, and you watch as it just starts arcing from left to right in a straight line before you, and you watch as the commoners have to jump to ground as this thing and it heads through the vine and shears right through this giant bramble, which seems to kind of quiver and recoil and almost scream as it disappears, like the stump of it disappears back into the ground. But you then watch as your scythe blade cuts a few houses in half, as just approximately neck height. the buildings just kind of clonk, like the tops of them fall off, and you now have these kind of beautifully open air living rooms for the villagers.
Happy, not slashy.
and like the first house you see as the top of the house kind of falls off. The door falls off because there's no more kind of frame really holding it in anymore, and you can just see a number of children like holding their teddy bears with the blade having just kind of gone over their heads as it disappears off into the countryside. You can just see trees toppling as it goes.
Well, at least you've all got great ventilation now.
Wendleshire.
Right. So, how much of the brambles are left after the?
Well, so there's still a remarkable amount. Kind of there's a corridor that's free of brambles. You did notice that the brambles that were cut seemed to kind of, as I say, shake, almost like it was screaming and shaking, and they pulled back into the ground, which is something that you know isn't normal when it comes to normie brambles. But the rest of the village is still utterly swamped in these now slightly girthier vines.
I know what to do. We need an insect that will eat plant matter.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. We just need lots and lots of them. So I'm just trying to think of how to put this spell together.
Uh-huh.
Ex nihil Vitalia.
Life.
And then I'm gonna sort of say for the amount, Chris Carey. Basically, he wants to create like hundreds and hundreds of lotus.
Increase,
Do you need to specify that they only attack the plants? Condition?
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
No, it's just an extra roll.
Okay, so I mean, they eat plants anyway. It's fine, and there'll be enough of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you gonna
create...
3 dice it?
You could do see locatia at the end, so they're just they focus on the location of the bramble.
Yes. The plant, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Locatia. So ex nihil Vitalia Crescere Locatia.
Yeah. Okay, roll me 40-10. Okay, so create, not quite right. Life, correct. You've made some locusts. And then it was the size isn't quite what you were expecting.
It was the amount I was going for.
Yeah. And then 8 is located. Okay, cool. So you explain this, and your colleagues, yeah, very good. And as you cast a spell, and you can see like the sky darken as the shadows first of what appear to be countless locusts begin appearing in the sky. But then you watch as the shadow begins to merge and kind of combine into one, and as you finish casting the spell, you look up and there is one giant locust hovering in the sky, the size of a building, and it
like a helicopter noise.
I imagine the children in the half-cut house are like,
and this locust kind of looks to you, and you watch as it kind of like flies off. It's big enough that it can eat one of the vines as if it were kind of normal size, given that these are much normal size, like larger than normal vines. But utter bedlam explodes through the town as this giant kind of like 40-foot long locust appears in the sky overhead, and just lands in the town and starts. I don't know what their teeth look like.
Little mandibles,
are they? Oh god!
Locusts aren't attracted to light like moths, are they?
No.
It starts chomping on the brambles, and there's a moment where it looks over to you, Rufus. and then goes back to the brambles.
But, I mean, one at a time, but at least he's doing something about it.
As it starts chomping on the bramble again, you hear this kind of like deep reverberant roar that kind of seems to be emanating from the ground itself, and the vine that's being nibbled on starts to move and rise up, taking the locust with it. The end of this bramble vine erupts from the ground and begins flailing like a tentacle, with this locust flying around it, kind of blowing roof tiles off the nearby roofs with the flaps of its wings. And there's, with a whip snap, like a whip crack smack, the locust is swatted from the air by this giant vine, which kind of lands on the ground, carving a trench through a couple of houses and kind of digging back into the ground into a local field, and the locust is kind of just pressed under the weight. And then the vine's kind of slow again.
Well, I'm out of ideas, Dot.
I'm not good at it. Yeah. That changes what I was going to do.
4 fireballs?
So, because now there is a giant locust, and
there was, to be fair, the bramble somehow managed to squish it with one of its
but my point
vines.
is, there seems to be a lot of like magical entities running around.
Oh yes.
In this village, and I'm like, so Dot is going to be like, okay, I feel like it's time to stop this. So she's gonna cast Extractus Arcana Vitalia to specifically drain magical life.
Yeah.
Sensible.
Are you specifying a location?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're specifying a location...
Arcana Vitalia Locatia.
Okay, so that is a 4-word spell.
Oh, it is a 4-word spell, and by the way, Jake and Meg, you guys don't know this. I am horrible with rolling dice. Like, I have the worst luck. So just prepare yourself.
Prepare.
Don't worry, we got this.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So, Extractus and Arcana don't really work.
So give it
extract magic.
Give it magic.
What's
See?
a little bit weird. The life and the location is right. So,
everyone becomes magical.
So,
No, because the location was specifying and the location specifying they work. So it's I am not extracting the magical thing I wanted to.
Yeah, you were trying to extract the magic.
You extract the berry juice.
I make jam.
You extract the berry juice. Okay. You approach the brambles, and as you kind of place your hands on them and attempt to wrench the arcane given life from this bramble, you feel the vine kind of shudder and shake underneath your hands as it vibrates more and more and more. And as you look, you can see the thing beginning to bulge, like the vine begins to bulge, and like you can see the skin of it kind of splitting under its sudden growth. There is the sound of it sounds like a wet slap, like a wet tearing slap, and the rest of you watch as all of the bramble berries along all of the bramble so far, they all swell and explode at high force, showering the town, its inhabitants, and you in various bits of like bramble berry. Yes, yes. It's just brambleberry like jam, like mush flies in all directions. You can see people just getting knocked over by the force of the jam hitting them.
And as you kind of pick yourselves up, the floor is coated with this sticky, fruity substance. And they're just kind of wet, hanging, limp berry sacks hanging off the sides of this bramble.
How does it taste?
I mean, great. A little bit sour, but otherwise quite good. And again, you feel this, like the vines are beginning to kind of like writhe and swell and pulse as you sit up and look at what's happening.
Did you just make the vines jizz their pants?
I think I did, yes. At which point Dot is going to go, take out a little notebook from her bag. Practice pronunciation.
Rufus, you have been buried. What do you do?
No, I kind of want to reduce it, put it in a box, and just put it somewhere. But we've got to make it small, haven't we? I'm just going to reduct to it and hope I don't roll a 1.
Yeah. So, So you're just going to try and reduce the size of the whole bramble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if I get carried away, this could go horribly wrong. So let's just reduce it and make it more manageable.
I mean, it's town sized now. This bramble is it's town sized. So you
can't we just make the world bigger to make it smaller?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do that then. Yeah.
I'm sure they've always
That's a
wanted
bit
to
more
be a
wizardy.
ship anyway.
Yeah, we'll make the town bigger to make the plant smaller.
Okay. Sure. So how are you building that? So I'm thinking. Okay, so you're trying to expand, like increase the size of the town. So that's going to be increase. So Crescere. Is it a physical form? That's a location, really, isn't it? Yeah. So Crescere, Locatia.
Crescere, Locatia. Bigger?
Magnitudine?
Yeah.
You've got to specify size, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cool. That's a 3-worder.
Crescere, Locatia, Magnitudine. It's quite happy days. 3, 8, 10.
Okay.
That's very close.
It's close. Not quite right though. So you. So.
It's an increase. The
size and the location are correct. The increase, not so much. You don't worry, guys. I've got a plan. And as you bring your wand up, it's like swing your wand around your head. This kind of this gold sparkle flies out of your wand tip and kind of disappears out into the sky, like up into the cloud layer before drifting back down. And as you inform everyone that you're going to grow the size of the town, and you place your hands on your hips, you watch as all of the buildings in the village begin to grow, but only on the up-down axis. Nothing gets wider or broader. They just
or something.
So all the houses triple in height, but not in width or depth. The doors suddenly become 24 foot high.
Graphs. It's like we're living in a zoo.
I hear skyscrapers are very trendy now.
Yes. As this happens in a nearby house, and the vines just kind of grow with it. But there comes a point where you hear "Mama," and as you look up, you can see there's a row of children's heads, now approximately 45 foot in the air, looking down from their second story window. But yes, the vines. You notice that the vines.
Staircase.
The vines have been like pulled out from the, like they're just kind of being pulled out the ground slightly to carry on, kind of as they're pulled up by the buildings. But yes, what's left of this village is now dominated by skyscrapers, and you can hear the flimsy wooden construction of these things beginning to creak under the weight of 3 times as much building as there once was. Cool.
And that's how Rufus created magical Dubai.
Yes.
Natty, you are covered in jam. You've now got that wow sensation as you look up at all these skyscrapers. What do you do?
I think at this point it's quite clear that these vines are here to stay, so why not make them useful instead? You know, useful vines. So I am
the best way of dealing with a problem is to reframe it into a solution.
Yeah, you know, that's what all the best politicians do.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Exactly. And I reckon these vines could be very helpful, for example, for supporting the buildings. So I'm going to see if I can get them to fix in place.
Petrify.
So they can't. Yeah, so to petrify them, you know, so they sort of like, so it's a 2 for 1, you know, they'll stop flailing around and destroying everything, but also they'll actually help the buildings that are there.
Okay.
So, I think, should I either reduce the time on them so that they sort of freeze in time, but just them, or reduce the kinetic energy? Maybe reduce the kinetic energy. So I'm going to say Reducto Vectora Locatia, so that I'm located directly on the vines.
Okay. Yeah. Locatia or somateria? Location or physical form?
Somateria. No, I think you're right. Let's go somateria.
Okay.
So that's, Reducto Vectora Somateria.
Okay, that's a 3-word spell. Please roll me 3d10.
That's it. All fixed. Problem solved.
Yeah.
So, the vines and the kinetic energy bit, that's fine. The reduce bit, not so much. So, you... You... size and temperature. Okay, so you go to cast the spell, and you've targeted the right things. You've kind of done it's a reduction that goes quite long. So instead of reducing them in size, you watch as the points of the thorns on these vines, it's beautiful to begin with. How the spell must be working. It's fossilizing almost. But then you notice that it's not turning to kind of stone or anything brittle. No, it appears to be becoming almost ice-like. And you watch
adamantium.
And you watch as the vines begin to turn into this ice-like crystalline form, which in turn begins to flash freeze all the buildings that are being held by it. And you, as the brambles kind of explode out and turn into this gleaming blue kind of glassy material, the children 45 foot up on the second floor, you can hear them whee! As they start like sliding down the sides of the vines to get out, the ice vines. But as the vines kind of pierce into where the vines intersect with the ground, you can see that the ground itself is beginning to freeze and turn brittle, almost like a Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat move, as the whole area begins turning into Elsa's Wonderland. So almost Wendleshire.
Well, we can't allow this. Do you remember? It was so long ago. Do you remember how we transformed like cats into rats, rats into cats, and they ran off elsewhere, so they became like another house's problem? I think we should make these brambles another town's problem. And he points at the ground, and he goes, "Extractus Summateria." Which one is it? It's Vectora.
Locatia?
Not Locatia, I was looking at... Injective!
Okay.
So to extract it, and then rocket it towards somewhere else.
So you want to... So Extractus... Vectora?
Extractus Summateria, and then...
Okay, extract object.
Vectora...
give it speed.
Injective. To infuse
and
it
then
elsewhere.
Teleport it somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you mind where it goes, or are you going to specify a location?
Locatia, then, sure. Next town down.
not the university.
Okay, so we've got a 5-word spell.
You're gonna have to do it once in this game at least.
Yay!
I extract something and send it to the next town down. The town. I extract this town and send it to the next town down.
All the cats.
So
all the people.
So the object is correct. So you've successfully targeted the vines.
Yep.
You've given the vines. You've given energy and a location and teleported, but not to the location you were expecting, and not the extracting that you were expecting. Okay. So the vines become this like beautiful ice sculpture. The townsfolk kind of running around. What's this? And you lift you get some height. You go to a nearby, first floor, which is about 30 foot off the ground, and you point. You kind of, with one hand you select your area, and you point in the direction that you want it all to go. And as you cast the spell, you watch as the vines, like the countryside in the direction that you're pointing, begins exploding and churning up as the brambles sprout anew and just and begin growing in the direction that you're pointing in a fan shape. And you just watch as these brambles like explode out, Petrified Forest, Final Fantasy IX style, and just like you can see like a little caravan, like a little trade caravan, just kind of coming along the path, and then flipped as one of these massive bramble roots kind of pancake tosses it. And just off in the distance, you can see the next village, and these brambles just embed themselves in amongst the town, like a couple of miles down the road.
Well, that went kinda as I was expecting.
Oh, well, they're definitely another town's problem.
That is correct.
So, as this, with that, in your elevated position, on the first floor of the 30-foot tall first floor, you notice that all of the brambles that you just fired out into the next village, as I say, they kind of fanned out, but as you trace the like the emerging vines back to where you are, you notice that there seems to be a particularly thick knot in one of the nearby gardens. You assume it to be Gardener Gabby's garden, but there's almost like a cocoon-like knot of brambles that's emerging out of the grounds there.
He relays this down to Dot.
Okay, with that information in mind, what do you do, Dot?
Do I want to do something incredibly stupid?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Dot is thinking like, this did not go as well as she was hoping. The first part, yes. The second part is a bit messy. So she's worried about her grades. So she's thinking, I think we can do better. So she's going to cast, and I might be wrong here, Reducto Chronos to turn back time.
Oh.
Like all of time, or just in a specific area, or what?
All of time.
All of time.
So we lose the money from the rat job.
I don't know how to make it more specific.
Well, you could. Do you do a location for when you stop?
I want to go back
the
to
time?
the point where we got paid and the brambles had not been dealt with. So I think Reducto Locatia Chronos.
Reducto, yeah. Locatia.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause you need a
That
point
sounds
in
good.
time.
That sounds good.
Alright, peeps.
Give me a 3 dice roll.
Holy shit!
Oh, no.
You weren't joking, were you?
Reduce something. Reduce something
Right.
in the location.
So,
Used the time.
the time.
Time is fine.
the time is correct.
We've gone back quite some time.
The reduction, the reversal, not so much. And instead of the point in time, you instead did it to the size. Ah!
It was now the size of time.
Yeah.
So
Could be the
you
length.
incorrectly reduced the size and the and time. Okay, so it's the
Well, you wanted it to be modern day, Jake.
you
HS2 now goes through the vines.
hang on.
Catch
Oh
pressure
my
food.
God.
Would that mean at the start of time it means I have changed the laws of time in the universe?
Yeah.
So time actually moves differently?
And that's how we became Time Lords.
So hang on, isn't it the location?
Location is
Yes.
location is now size.
Location is now size,
So,
and the reduction got a bit squiffy.
Yeah.
So
I'm so sorry.
The size of
Do
time.
we all go really quick?
You can see the cogs turning in Dan's head. He's like, how the hell do you reduce the size of time?
What does that
How
mean?
about
we
all
go
the-
twice as quick. It's like quickening.
Yeah. Or all the clocks in the town could just get really big.
They're always like 1 minute slow, no matter what you do.
for
It's
some
so
people,
infuriating.
Speed it up. If you reduce it, it speeds it, doesn't it? Or am I getting confused there? We're reducing 1 second to half a second.
Oh no! Oh no!
What?
Oh! What happens when you get close to a black hole because how dense the gravity is? Time dilates. Because
Yeah, make a
the
fucking black hole in this time.
Get rid of the vine.
You reduce the size of time, you're creating like a gravitational distance.
So, this is hurting my brain. You have it's a dodgy reduction of the size of time.
Join us next week when we have an answer.
Do we know like an astrophysicist we can call up to ask
Yeah, let me just get Neil deGrasse Tyson on the phone.
Leave a comment below.
Hold on. I actually do know.
You feel this pulse of temporal magic erupt out of Dot. And initially, nothing happens. And then you wait a bit more time and then nothing happens. And as you kind of look at one another curiously, Rufus, you pull out your pocket watch and notice that on your pocket watch there are now only 11 hours on the clock face. And it appears that Dot has managed to delete one of the hours of the 24. And you notice that the sun, because it's just coming up to what should be like 11 o'clock, and it just, you watch as the hour hand just dunk, flies past where 11 should be, and immediately land on 12. And as you look, like all the shadows around you suddenly change as the sun in the sky moves a 24th further than it should have in a split second. And you hear like panic cries of panic from the farmers as they look around as the sun suddenly, that you feel the world like having to speed up in its orbit so the sun can be at the right spot in the sky, and everyone just flies backwards a few steps as in a split second as this world comes to a stop, and the sun is at its 12 o'clock apex.
Well, at least everyone, we only lost an hour, but Vomit Boys lost like a day or a week of his so the small graces. Right. Oh dear. Okay. Let's not mess with time again.
Okay. Congratulations, Dot. You've broken the cosmos. Rufus.
To be perfectly honest with you, this feels like this is definitely a subject for a paper.
Yes. Yeah, but you've got 1 hour less to write it.
Rufus,
these plants, plants grow on light, don't they? So if we extinguish the light, it will kill the plant.
Yeah, it's a 5 thesis.
No.
Let's do that then.
Yeah.
Right.
So how are you? What's the spell looking like? Tell me what it is exactly.
We have to locate something, can't we? So let's locate the sun.
It's a bit further along in the sky than you were expecting it to be.
I mean, this is the equivalent.
This is... Yeah, no, you go first.
I said this is the equivalent of getting a kill streak in like Call of Duty and dropping a tactical nuke.
But also, I am a bit concerned that you're casting a light-based spell when you are made of light at the moment.
His world is light.
If it messes up, it might turn the light off. That would win-win. It's fine.
Okay.
Right. So let's locate the sun. Let's reduce the sunlight. Oh, not the sun.
Okay.
Reduce the actual light. Luminous. And do we want it for a certain time, or should we just reduce it? Prevent it. So prevent it from shining.
Yeah.
And for what we know, it was the machines who scorched the sky to stop the machines.
Okay, so what's our spell looking like?
Locatia Reducto Luminous Preventia. Do we need it for a specific time? Because that might be forever. So Cronus, or...
I mean, we just realised what happened with Cronus.
In fact, no, we said no to time anymore.
We did say
no
to time.
We can turn the sun back on when we need to when the plant's dead.
Turn the sun back on.
Exactly, we just magically switch.
Locatio Reducto Luminous Preventia. Oh, yeah, I've got to do something.
Genuinely scared.
Oh, it's success! Finally.
Amazing.
Oh, I turn off the sun with an eclipse of my brain. And now I'm the only light source in the world. Hopefully the plant doesn't grow towards me now.
Oh.
I am the creation.
I am the Alpha and the Omega.
Okay. Like Rufus is just done with his shit. And he just-
I call him the lighthouse dog.
2 hands on his hips, he looks up
Praise be the sun.
like a grumpy dad who's wondering who left the hallway light on. Yeah, pokes a finger towards the sun and you're plunged into darkness. Apart from 2 glaring beams of light from Rufus's eyes into the inky void of darkness.
Behold.
Oh my god.
Right. I mean, it certainly slows the brambles down. Yeah.
So we can't see the brambles anymore. So
You can only see what Rufus wants you to see.
As all things should be.
So I'm gonna say, if Rufus doesn't want us to see the brambles, we actually can believe that they are gone.
Yes. I win.
Okay.
Close my eyes.
How about I give you my glasses? Then you can like turn yourself into proper headlights.
Like War of the Worlds. Fucking beams of Sauron the eye. I will climb to the 2nd story at 40 foot up and beam my eye across my new domain.
Yeah, you created your barrack-dur, now you stand at the top of your tower of
I have my tower, my one all-seeing eye.
You plunge the land into an ever darkness.
If I knew this was going to happen, I would have stayed in the soul void.
I see you.
Natty, we need to destroy the Dark Lord, it seems.
Tell you what, okay.
Forging jewelry.
As Rufus's dark plan to gain control of the world rears its ugly head, and Rufus is revealed to be the big bad of the whole thing. Natty, what are you doing in this exact moment in time as the inevitable, well, without the sun, the very sudden heat death of the universe is beginning its barreling its way towards you? What do you do?
Okay. I think what this man needs is a healthy dose of humility. At the moment, he's the only light source on the planet. So, I am going to invent electrical devices that emit light. I'm going to invent torches.
Okay.
And the way I'm going to do that is, and I'm going to invent torches for everyone on the planet. So everyone will have their torches, will have their electric emitting light devices. So I'm going to say ex nihil potentia somataria.
Somataria. So create electrical energy object.
Yes. And I guess I'd want it for everyone. So maybe Crescere?
Yeah. Increase. Sure. That makes sense. Roll me 4d10.
Okay. This can't go wrong.
That's like a less than 6% chance, Jake, that you did that.
You're welcome.
Oh no!
Oh god.
Oh, okay.
Very close though.
You have created a light energy object, but the size, you've misremember that word, and instead
Time.
Time.
Faithful friend.
You create. Okay.
The timeline.
You successfully create.
Caveman with a torch.
You successfully create a electrical energy, a light, a torch. But instead of creating loads of them, you create it. You can see it in your hand. The cylindrical shape, the glass front, the AA batteries that never seem to last as long as you want them to last. And then at the apex of the casting of the spell, it vanishes from your hand. And because you observe the future or past, so instead of giving the torch to all the people, you create the torch and then send it into the past.
Oh my god.
That
makes sense.
Nice, yeah.
And then, so as you look confused at this creation that you had in the palm of your hand, some millions of years ago, a furry humanoid is struck on the head by a cylindrical object with a glass front and a set of AA batteries, which don't seem to last anywhere near as long as they should do. And as this Neanderthal looks at it, a bit concerned and confused, No, it's not a Neanderthal. It's a dinosaur. As this T-Rex bends down with its... Well, it has to go quite low to pick it up with its little hands.
The batteries in?
Yeah, the batteries are in it. It's one of those... Maybe it's one of those wind-up ones. And as this dinosaur, like T-Rex, blinds itself by shining the light in its eyes, you begin a cascading series of events, cause and effect, throughout the millions of years, as the dinosaurs didn't become extinct when the meteors fell, because through the use of light technology they were able to it was kickstarted their civilization, allowing them to build space defense lasers which were able to shoot down the meteor before it collided with the planet. And all of this happens in a split second, and as you wonder where this torch went, you suddenly look around and the four of you are dinosaurs.
Friggin' light coming out of his head.
There's one T-Rex with light coming out his eyes and mouth at the top of a tall tower.
Like Godzilla!
But in this moment, nothing is wrong, because this is how it has always been. Wensleyshire.
Nobody say Kronos ever again.
Wendleshire. Wendleshiresaurus steps forward and goes, Rufus Rex, you are the best of us! But if you want to be the only source of light, so be it! I had this spell prepared, and I've forgotten it because that was just also funny. He points to Rufusaurus Rex with his wand and says, where's it gone? Transmutia Arcanio
Convert magic, yep.
Injective
Teleport,
Locatia.
yeah.
He wants
Teleport
to transform Rufus into the new sun and inject him into the sky.
Okay.
Look down upon you in the...
You want to be king? Here's your crown.
Done.
Okay, roll away, 4d10.
4d10. Oh, no!
Where have you sent me?
Where have I sent you? I convert you into a sun at least, and I send you, but I don't know where I sent you.
Well, you did. You mispronounced. Well, you didn't say
it's
location.
Because I'm not used to my more.
Right. So instead of location, instead you said Magic.
I become magic.
I convert you into a sun and then I inject you into our magic. Our magic is now sun powered. There is no sun to power it. I have killed magic.
You just made it solar powered.
Okay, so you. So what was it?
I convert. I convert a wizard into a sun and inject him into magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
But instead, you've changed magic into solar energy. So as this happens,
change solar into magic.
Well, I change you into a sun and then inject you into magic.
Yes.
And that's how we solve the climate crisis. With renewable magic energy.
In which case, at the apex of at the peak of your victory, Rufus, you, as the spell is cast, your body begins to glow brighter and brighter, and with a zoop, you disappear from the top of your second-story tower. Wait, hang on, but he was the sun.
I transformed him into the sun. That's gone right.
He's into
I've
the sun.
injected
Okay.
him, unfortunately, into magic. So somehow he turned into a sun, disappeared, and was put into magic.
The sun has become the source of magic.
Yeah.
So the sun, like the sky overhead, rips open with daylight. As the sun rematerializes in.
I materialize. Thank you.
As Rufus the sun
Rufusaurus Rex.
Rufusaurus Rex the sun rematerializes in the skies overseas. As you are bathed in the sunlight.
In Rufus. Thank you.
Rufusaurus Rex with dinosaurs.
You feel yourselves becoming supercharged with solar energy. As dinosaurs being cold-blooded, this is the only logical explanation. As you absorb the heat and power of the sun.
Holy shit! And, just become Superman.
As you're able to see again, and you look at this village, this dinosaur village, with a ice sculpture bramble wrapped around it. Dot, what do you do?
Dotosaurus is not big enough.
Doppler-docus. Yeah.
No, Dotosaurus. Let me send you a picture.
Okay.
Is now big enough that she can just start eating the bramble.
Okay. Yeah,
we've got the bramble to sort out.
Is that sorry, are you just eating it?
Yeah, I'm just hungry.
Cool. So you are able to do things without using magic. If you can roll me a single d10.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
surely I can eat without a problem.
You need to roll really high.
In that case, you need to roll if it's a risky thing. It's a goddamn bramble. I am a dinosaur. Can I just eat something, please?
You need a 9 or better.
It's a giant ice bramble.
Oh, I forgot about the ice.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Your tongue's going to stick to it.
I thought you guys. Oh my god.
We turn it into ice and then rocket it to the next town.
Oh my god. You know what? At this point, she's just going like, you know what? Oh, because now I'm very big again. Preventia Arcano. I'll try to dispel the goddamn spell on the bramble.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. 2d10.
Nope.
You dispel?
Something.
So you
Don't
dispel.
get time. Don't get time.
Not the sun.
Okay, so you successfully dispel.
The ability to
The
prevent.
temperature. The heat.
Okay, so you step up to the bramble, and instead of dispelling the magic to make the bramble disappear, the bramble thaws because you've dispelled the reduction in temperature. So it thaws, and you know what? Let's say, because it's also reduced size, the bramble thaws and then begins to shrink back into. back into the size it once was, and as it disappears into the craters left in the ground from where it erupted in the first place, as the three of you like go to high five one another with your little stumpy arms, God Beast Rufus, you have the last roll of the game. You get to decide whether you are a benevolent or malicious god.
Oh, kind of achieved everything I wanted to. It's either Magtudio to Materia. And just make myself bigger. Yeah. That's kind of what a son wants to do. Or we go a full circle of the very first spell that I did, and some Materia Vectora, and hurtle myself towards the. I feel that's a full circle.
Sure. Yeah, let's go.
This is turned into like some crazy mythological deity origin story, you know, like this is how the world lost and then reclaimed its son.
Yes, Solitaria.
Or depending on how the spell goes, it could be the death. Oh!
Success but failure.
So me, but wrong direction. Or the planet starts spinning around me. I don't know what you want to do. And I'm stuck there.
So you've lodged. Yeah, well. Tell you what, you are a benevolent god, aren't you? In your last act, you take this planet that you once called your home, and through your arcane might, you force it to begin orbiting around you.
Yes.
As the new sun in the cosmos.
Does it get its hour back?
It does. Yes. And
Son of Rufus Rex sun will shine upon you forever.
Yes. So with that, you successfully managed to clear out the brambles from Garden and Gabby's garden. And the three of you get paid. And with that, your placements come to an end. Mayor Schlub thanks you. Gives you a little swish of his tail. And the villagers wave you off as the three of you return back to Magic University. And that, boys and girls, is the creation story of this world. And I think we'll leave it there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing ? Sorcerer Supreme.
Hey, I think we created a deity. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Please tell me that you're going to have like icons of our characters, and Jake's just going to transform into a sun with a face.
I'm just going to be a lamp. I'm going to be the lamp that illuminates your character.
Can that be our next adventure?
The dinosaur wizards.
2.5 hours would normally be a 2.5 year D&D campaign to get to that level of character.
I do want to imagine you are just a big sun in the sky and you actually have a face, just a constant grin, like
more of a dinosaur snarl.
That was madness, absolute madness.
Yes,
that was amazing.
Thank you.
We really should do this again.
You should. Yeah. We absolutely should. So, yes, if you enjoyed that,
how could you not?
Make sure to hit the like button, leave some comments, and hit the subscribe button, because this is not the last one shot. Maybe it should be, but it's certainly not the last one shot we've got planned. And we have a new campaign starting soon. Maybe I'll use this as the creation story for that campaign. Who knows? But yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. Welcome to the group for the first time, Meg. I hope that wasn't too traumatic for you.
That was great. I turned everyone into dinosaurs.
Yes. But otherwise, we have other one shots coming up. So Tilda, we've got you in some more. Tilda and Jake. Well, you're both appearing in one shots coming up soon. You can find Carl and I over in the Tavern Between Dimensions podcast, where we sit down with Anton and talk about loads of nerdy things. But otherwise, once again, thank you all. I'll catch you next time.
Praise be the sun! Professorus Rex!
Or not.
Bye.
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 Bye.